All right, so day 6, I think. Yeah, day 6 sounds about right. Took a few days off because I had some friends in town, and jumping in the freezing cold water wasn't so ideal for them. We are in the middle of the polar vortex, so the Kootenays does not get that cold comparatively to other places like Ontario and Quebec and spots like that. It's still cold. So the nights have been getting, I think, minus 14, 15 to minus 18, and right now it's about negative 12. I think it's a little bit worse in the shade, like negative 15. So it's a little bit colder than what I'm used to outside. Still waiting for some snow so I can go snowboarding. Got a little bit last week, but that's what I'm really hoping for. And so today I am going to do the Wim Hof breathing to see the difference. So there you go. All the people that have been asking if it's Wim Hof, I said no, it isn't. I've just been getting in the cold water, testing my own will. You know, I just want to get in there and be like, what is the body doing? What am I capable of? You know, and it's a very interesting experience just to watch the body and to push yourself to something that's really cold and your body doesn't want to do. And I think that I'm a little bit softer. I've kind of avoided cold training. I'm like, I don't really like the cold, but I knew that when I had the right environment, I was going to test it out and I was going to do it and see what it was like. And so here we are. So today, polar vortex, colder, and we're going to do some Wim Hof and we'll see how that goes. Peace. All right, so I have retreated to the Volvo because, oh my God, it's cold. Today, the temperature says negative 10, so I did the Wim Hof breathing. I got in the water, and I think in the shade it was probably colder than negative 10. I like the breathing. I think the breathing pattern's awesome. Activates, you know, maybe a little DMT, a little bit of just lightheadedness. You know, makes you feel good for sure, but I think that sitting in just the cold, like being colder today, sitting there doing the breathing, and then getting in, it made me get colder. So when I got out, I was freezing cold. It didn't make it any easier. Well, the thing is, my body isn't cold. My hands and my feet. So that's really all it is. The hands and the feet that need to improve. So ran back to the car, got the mitts. My hands were froze. I was trying to get my shorts off, and then there's a knot tied, and I was like, and I couldn't get the knot undone, so that was a pain in the ass. Because you know when your hands are so cold, they don't work. So that's a problem. But the rest of my body's fine. Like legs, you know, chest, everything else is good. Just hands, man, hands and feet. And to be honest, this time the junk got a little bit cold. A lot of people say freeze your balls off, but it's more something else. And that's the first time that happened. So I don't know if these guys get to a level of mastery where you can control the temperature of your extremities, hands, feet, and other things. But yeah, so overall it was like good. I really liked the breathing pattern. Did it make it easier? Not really. Getting in and like the body, because it's like a shocker, you're still in there, but when you do the breath pattern, it does, like, I could see how it would make it easier. So I think it's a good practice. Any breathing practice is a good practice. I think the breath pattern, the Wim Hof breath pattern, is a really cool breath pattern, and I like it. And Wim Hof has been able to do some absolutely incredible, mind-blowing things, and he's such an ambassador for human potential and goodness and enthusiasm and all kinds of other things. You know, he's such a bright person, a bright soul, a bright, awesome, amazing being. So if you haven't done his breath pattern, I highly recommend checking it out. There's YouTube videos all over the place. He does an online program that you can take, so I highly recommend to check that out. And yeah, the reason why I didn't want to do the Wim Hof breath pattern right away was just because I wanted to see, again, like I've said before, what I was capable of, how my body would react, what I could do on my own will and ignorance. And just, you know, I was like, well, if all these other guys can get in the cold water, I can get in the cold water too. But today was definitely a challenge. Those extra -5, you know, going from, I think the coldest to maybe -5, -7. And this, you know, was probably -10. And in the shade, the sun started to go down. So I think it was probably even colder than that. So maybe -12, 13, I don't know, something like that. It makes a big difference. But I know that some people, like I've said before in videos, that are doing this in like -20. Nuts. And then they get out and then they're cool. So maybe it's practice, maybe it's the continuous breath pattern, maybe it's a number of things, I don't know. But when I'm in the water, I'm cool. It's fine, other than when I get out, hands and feet. So overall, Wim Hof method, good. When you do it, you feel warm. It does warm up the body, so that does help. But when you get in the water and you give it a second, you know, you're still freezing ass cold water. So overall, probably make it a little bit easier, but not, you know, it's definitely not night and day. But some people, they have a different experience where they do the breath pattern and it's just so much easier for them. And I can see why. I definitely can see why. But I think that when I was doing it myself, doing it my own way, and just having, you know, my mental process of what I do to get into the water and be comfortable, it was about the same, just a little different. So there you go. That's the Wim Hof video. That's it. Hope you have an amazing day, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.